Hi there, welcome to this session. My name is Apeksha, and today we have with us a very confident finance girl who is currently working in one of the big fours as a consultant. She is a confident speaker and has her own initiative named as the Anti-Social Network. Apart from this, she has some crazy number of followers all around her social medias. And of course, she's a passionate content creator. Thank you so much, Rashmi, for joining in here and guiding our viewers.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Apeksha. So, hi, you guys. I'm from Kolkata. I create content on LinkedIn, as Apeksha mentioned. I graduated from St. Xavier's College back in 2019 and completed my master's. And I'm also a CA finalist. I would say rather a semi-qualified chartered accountant. Apart from that, I'm working in Deloitte, recently promoted to a consultant position in the risk advisory domain. And it's all about internal audits. Previously, I was working with Singhi and Company in the STAT audit domain. And I have a startup of my own, an initiative, which is known as the Anti-Social Network, wherein I have events around the country wherever I can travel. I had one event in Delhi and two events in Calcutta so far. I started this in January because I felt that post-COVID, a lot of people have problem connecting to one another and they don't socialize as much they used to do before COVID. So this initiative is all about coming in person, not on Zoom calls, but in person, getting to know each other better, help
Okay.
uh, you know each other in different ways, network with each other and overcome their fear of public speaking or any other fear, stage fright or something that they have. So that's all
Okay.
about me.
Great, Rashmi. So, was going into Big Four's your dream, and how did you get into Deloitte? Or rather, what are the skills you think are a must to land up a job?
Okay, so definitely, I believe any person pursuing CA might once or at least more than once they have a dream of getting a job into a big four, right?
Correct.
All of us, even if it's a CMA aspirant or a CS aspirant or a CA, even MBAs these days, they all want to get into big four, consultancy or big four. So even I had a dream getting into Big Four. I wanted to do my articleship from Big Four, but back then I did not get the opportunity because of the regular college. So
Okay.
post articleship, I definitely wanted to try for a Big Four, and I would just say that having a good CV
Okay.
and also having a good exposure previously wherever you have worked, and if you are a fresher, working on your communication skills is very important to get a job at a Big Four. The first step is definitely your resume because that's the only step where the recruiter would shortlist you for the interview. And once your resume is completed, you need to work a lot on your communication skills because Big Four is, prefer hiring students or professionals who are, good in spoken English because they have clients all around the globe. They want, you to represent you in US or UK or any other country for that matter. So definitely, communication skills play a very big role. And after that comes your personality, of course. See, there's this saying, a very famous saying that all, work and no play makes Jack's a dull boy. So
Right.
you have to be an all-rounder to be at a Big Four. You have to be doing some other thing in your life apart from studying or just doing a job. So definitely, I would say that my profile had a lot of other things apart from my study and the work experience that I already had. Like, for example, I had this very different thing from others about hosting events.
Yeah.
So yesterday also I was, at a place hosting an event with around 2,500 students from all over Kolkata.
Great. Okay.
So that was one thing that intrigued the interviewer. He also asked me a question that how are you managing so many things together? Like I like to sing also, I dance, and I
Great.
travel a lot. I read, I create content. I utilize whatever time I get during my day to do something or the other. Free time just kills me. So I would say, resume and then communication and then building your own personality. building your profile in such a way that the recruiter will think twice before rejecting you. So that's
Okay.
all about it.
Okay. Pretty insightful, Rashmi. I have read that you have been a confident speaker. You love to get on stage, as you said. How can anyone be fearless enough to speak in front of so many people, or what are those key elements one must have?
Okay. So वो कहते हैं ना कि बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है. There is this saying also, right? So एक दिन में तो you cannot become a good speaker. You need to have that mindset. You have to manifest it, and you also have to work hard for it. So there are a few things that you need to keep in mind, such as, you have to have a structure in your mind that what you are going to speak, how it is going to be. And if you want to just, make a note on your notes in the phone, or probably just jot down the pointers that you want to cover on. So having that will definitely boost your confidence. You know that you have to touch upon these areas, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Second thing would be your body language, definitely. When you are talking, you have to just look confident, even if you are nervous from within. I know all of you are nervous and, scared and thinking what people would be thinking and judge you while you are on stage. If you are, your hand movements are really important. The way you are walking on the stage is very important. So these are just a few things that you have to keep in mind. Other than that, third thing that is very important is the communication rule. So I always, write about these things on my LinkedIn also, that there is 93% of the communication that is non-verbal, and only 7% is through the verbal communication. So it's your body language, it's the way of talking that talks to people. It's just the way and not the words. So the words are definitely important, and words can be written and can be taken help of these tools in AI also these days. So somebody who can write the script for you, but the point is that when it comes to delivering, you have to deliver it yourself. Be it a viva in school, or be it a presentation at work, or be it a seminar or a conference. So the writing part can be done by somebody else, but then the delivery part has to be done by you. So you have to be confident enough with the subject you have in your hands, or just be well versed with it. Read it through a few many times so that you know what's written after. That's one thing. And then also, there's this very common tip that's there on the internet, that practice a few times in front of the mirror. For me, honestly, it helped me a lot. Practicing in front of mirror, I was a very shy and introvert person. It was very difficult for me to come up and talk to people, and I was very soft spoken back then in school. But something changed when I was in college, and everybody was like, you have to come up and speak, or else you will always stay at the back and nobody would actually talk to you. So that kind of triggered me that I have to come up and speak. So you have to speak, you have to take care of your pitch, the words you're using, the way you're delivering, how fast, how slow. So you have to keep every little thing in mind. Start slow, but then take the pace higher.
Okay.
That's
Right.
what I would say here.
Right. Rashmi. I've seen that you have been this Master of Ceremony at Students' National Conference, ICASA. Would you share with us any incident or experience, and why do you would recommend attending at least one such conferences?
Okay, so like Apeksha, I was just saying, yesterday and day before yesterday only, I was attending one of the national conferences in Calcutta. So I was hosting that as well. So that was the fifth conference that I hosted for ICASA IIRC. So, I had never attended a conference before hosting one. So I would always recommend that you should attend a conference, also be a part of the working team, the people who are preparing for the conference way before we attend it. Why I'm saying this is because you will learn a lot of things out of that, how to manage a program, what all are required to, at the back end of organizing a successful event. There's a lot of things that we students need to learn. in life. So one attending that conference as a working team member is one such thing you should do. Attend a conference, probably the next conference you should help the committee organize it, and the next probably you are hosting it. So there are a lot of things in an event. There are a lot of people who are working day and night to make it a successful event. Right. So attending these events are not only just for your communication skills, but also for your networking skills and also hardcore skills. So these sessions do have, technicalities in them, amendments in them, which are very vital for us as a student. So there are two things that are there in a conference. One is the technical knowledge part, and the other part is the soft skills part. So the soft skill part and the networking part is on the one side, where you meet a few thousand students who are at par, who are living in the same city, and who are doing the same things and having probably the same routine that you have in your life. So you find a peer group of yours where you can connect, talk, share with them. And on the other side is the hardcore skills, which I mentioned already, the technical sessions that the seminars do have, where you get to learn a lot about the new developments in the country, also new developments in your own curriculum, the syllabus. You meet eminent speakers. That's also one important part where you get inspired by those personalities that, okay, this person did this and this person is doing so, and why can I not do something like this? And why can I not speak something like this? So, last conference, I mean, this conference, the one I attended 2 days back, there was a person who was hosting it. So basically, he was my co-host. And the year before, he was, just an ordinary student attending the conference somewhere sitting in the middle. He was inspired by the way I was talking. He texted me on LinkedIn day after that. Hi Rashmi, I was really inspired by the way you were addressing the audience. Hope I will also be able to do the same one day. That's what he texted me. And yesterday he was hosting the opening inauguration poem with me
Oh,
on
wow.
stage. So
Okay.
that's the power of
It
manifesting, right?
inspired, yeah.
Yeah. So he got inspired and then he came up, worked hard on it, and he's actually hosting it with me only.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's manifestation at next level, right? So
Right.
that's one incident that I would, like to share to the people who are listening to this that manifestation is real, but you have to work hard to achieve it.
Right, right. Rashmi, we talked about the antisocial network. You told us about it. How important networking is for professionals who are listening to this podcast?
Okay, so for professionals, I have just one thing to say that ultimately all of us are looking for business, right? सबको धंधा करना है and everybody wants to grow. So to grow, I think synergy is the best option. Collaboration is the best option. All you have to do is network with like-minded or with opposite synergies. Like, for example, there's an instance where I heard the chairman of the co-founder of board say this, that what he found in his co-founder was the opposite skills. If Aman was the marketing guy, his partner was the finance guy. Just for
Okay.
example, I'm saying this,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to find either opposite skills to collaborate with some person so that you have an interactive session. You can exchange knowledge, and probably you can also become partners in entrepreneurship later on in life. So that's one thing. And the other thing is ultimately see, even if you're working in a big four or an industry, reference game works everywhere. So having a network is always beneficial for you. You can ask for a reference, or probably somebody can ask a reference from you, and you can refer the person in the organization. So there are a few things that helps the professionals while having a good network is this. It helps you grow your business. Also, you find peers along working with you, and definitely you can share your problems and listen out their problems while talking to each other. So I think networking is something that is required by every human being. Since we are human beings, we are not used to stay alone or vibe with ourselves. Rather, we always find the similar vibes around us, right? So I think that's it on this question.
So, how was your Deloitte interview experience? What are those few mistakes to avoid while making CV?
Okay. So my Deloitte experience was amazing. To be very honest, I had applied in 7 companies,
Okay,
out of which I got offer letters from 6 companies, and I chose Deloitte because first thing was it's the best Big Four.
right.
It's the number one Big Four available right now. And secondly, it was providing me my home location, Kolkata. So definitely it was a plus for me because my additional expenses would be zero. I firmly believe that wasting money on rent is really bad. I mean, you can invest that equal amount on some investment and some stocks, and ultimately it would give you great returns. So
Right.
why waste a monthly amount on rent? I mean, that is not giving you anything. It's just becoming zero at the end. So that was the second point. And the third point would be it's definitely a brand. Big Four on your CV will always stay.
Right.
I mean, wherever I go, probably after this or later in my life, there will always be a different credibility along with my name, which would be about Deloitte. That, okay, this girl has been working with Deloitte for so and so many years. So that's all. And about the interview, I would say that since my domain was internal auditing, I was already doing stat audit and a little bit of internal audit as well. So I had a brief idea about my role. I had gone through the job description really well. I had 6 rounds of interview, wherein 2 rounds were the first basic round about relocation and all that stuff with the HR.
Right.
And the next round was with the deputy manager, and then the manager, then the director, and the partner. The
Okay.
partner round was not a round. Actually, it was just a brief call because I was already selected before only. So it was just a brief call because I would be working with him under his team. So that was just a brief call, I would say. And the main grilling happened at the deputy manager level and the manager level. So those two people, asked very technical questions more about, there are technicalities in internal auditing, the processes, how you audit, what are the flaws, and so on and so forth. So those two levels grilled a lot. But then they were quite impressed with the way I was answering, my confidence, the way I market myself. So those things are really important. You have to sound really confident when you are giving an interview. I mean, there can be answers that you don't know, but just be very honest that, sorry, sir, I did not, really touch upon this topic, or I wasn't expecting this to be asked in the interview.
Right.
Just be very honest because when we play bluff with the interviewer is 10x smarter than us. He has been interviewing candidates day in and day out, and probably he's also a lot senior to us. So playing bluff with him is not definitely a good idea. So just be very frank and honest that, sir, I don't know this, or ma'am, I'm just not aware of this topic. And probably she will also understand or he will understand. And they will move ahead with the next question. So that was all about the Deloitte experience. The next question was about the mistakes that you should avoid in your resume. That would be avoid using bold and highlighting colors. That's the one thing that I've seen in a lot of resumes because since I review a lot of resumes and also I have a lot of resumes that come up to me for referrals and also for the hiring part in the company. I go through the CVs. I find these people using orange and red color on their CV. That's
Okay.
a big no-no, a big no-no. All the colors that you can use is gray, black, and blue. The other colors would not be, preferred.
Okay.
So these are the colors you should use. The font size also matters. I've seen people using font size of, as small as 6 to as big as 30 also. I mean, a CV having a font size of 30 is like 10 pages almost. I mean, that's not how much I will scroll on my phone to just read about your bio. It's not possible. So ideally, you should use this font size of 11 or 12 on your CV, not beyond. I mean, something around 10 to 12 would be really good with the Times New Roman font. Don't use just random Calibri font anywhere. I mean, some fonts people use the weird fonts to make, the headers, they use different
Yeah,
fonts
yeah,
and the body, they use different fonts. Don't do that. I mean, if you have to highlight it, just use the bold option. It's given there or use italics
yeah, right.
if you have to use. So use the same font throughout the CV. You can differentiate with the font size. If the heading you wanted to make it a more prominent or use bold feature italics. This is a second thing. Third thing would be adding a photograph that is totally up to you. If you want the interviewer to see you, you can add a photograph. If not, you can avoid it also. It does not play a very big role in the resume. Okay. The last thing I would say is also write a little about your extracurriculars and your hobbies. I've seen a lot of people skip that part just because they want to fit their resume in a page. Don't do that. Please add at least 3 to 4 hobbies of yours that you want to do when you are free at home or probably that you do in the weekends because the person who's hiring you is hiring you as a person. You are not a robot. Even he is aware of that. So please write down whatever you like doing in your free time and pastime so that the recruiter also knows, okay, fine, these are the other skills this guy or this girl have. Right. So that's all about, mistakes in a CV. And also, read the JD before preparing the CV or applying to a job. Because these days, the application tracking system is used, the ATS is used for resumes and not having the keywords will definitely not select your CV. So have the appropriate words from the job description so that the ATS can filter out your CV accordingly.
Right. So here my all questions end, Rashmi. It was insightful talking to you, and I'm sure this is going to be very helpful to our viewers as well. Thank you so much once again. Really had a good time. Thank
Same here, Apeksha. Thank you for having me here.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.